Okay, so I chose to go over if I ever find out I have a terminal illness. Don't know what it is. No, I don't have like specifics on it, but that's my aspect of it all. And so whenever it comes to telling people, like once I find out, I feel like I would tell you and the boys because I feel like if I find out while I'm here in College Station, y'all would come up here. So like I would talk with y'all about it, and then
Hmm.
y'all would help me like because I feel like if I only find out I have 6 months to live, I would not want to stay in college because considering that I have at least a year still to go, college wouldn't be beneficial to me if I'm dying in 6 months. So I feel like y'all would come up here, help me get out of my lease, withdraw from the university. I would say like my goodbyes to my friends here and like my Arrows friends and my coworkers, and then we'd go back home where we'd like have the conversation with like all four grandparents, and then like with your siblings and their children and like my cousins and dad's siblings and Alexia, and then like kind of like those are the people I want to tell. Like I
Okay.
want to hear from me. But whenever it comes to like distant family, I feel like at that point like grandma and grandpa can tell the rest of everybody else,
Right.
and just so that way I can like start focusing on other things. Um so that's yeah, just cuz and then whenever it comes to like what happens whenever I get home, I feel like once I've told everybody, um I would just want to like then tell, Kobe, Tyler, and Omar and like hang out with them for a little bit at home, see if they would want to go like on a trip somewhere just for like a small trip, like just for like one last memory with them. And
Hmm.
then I'd probably go spend time with Priscilla in like the Dallas area and tell her and see if she would want to go like on any big trip or do anything. But I know it'd be hard for her considering she's still in school at SFA. And then after that, I would plan to fly to Spain since Madiel's in Spain right now. And this is all like if it were to happen like pretty recent because she's
Okay.
in Spain until like February. So I would plan on go and spend time with her and like because she does a lot of traveling, so I would like kind of tag along. And even if I couldn't do a lot with her, I'd still get her like input on things to do, so that way I could just have fun. And then I'd honestly really want to go to Greece. I don't care if anybody would be able to go with me. I would just want to go because that's a place that I want to go to before I die. So, and then go back home, try to like see if we could do like one last family trip, even if it's just like the lake or something. Um, and then we'd have to start settling into like everything that like I would want to like help y'all prepare for everything while I still can, because part of like this terminal illness um like hypothetical is I would have 3 months of being completely healthy or still being capable of doing things, and
Right.
then 3 months to where I would technically be bedridden.
Hmm.
So I would want to like up until like the times where I had to be bedridden, I wouldn't want you to like tell, and I wouldn't want to like I also my main thing is I don't want my like anxiety and like depressive states to like overpower me wanting to do things and like fulfill things. So that's kind of where I'd want to just do everything until like the very last minute, and then like we could start planning on um like all the plans going forward to like whenever I do start becoming really sick, and the whole like we've had the conversation of like not wanting to rely so much on like the ventilators and like the breathing machine and like all that stuff. So like how you've told me that like if you become a vegetable, you would want me to pull the plug for you. Like it would pretty much be. the same thing. Um, um, I don't know. I think also I'd want to know what, like, get the specifics of what is killing me, because if it's something genetic, then I would want the boys to know. That way they could get tested also. And then
Right.
that way, like, y'all could, like, you and dad also, that way, if it's something that can be affecting one of y'all, like, the rest of the family, I feel like the rest of the family should know. Like, even though, like, it's hitting me hard, I feel like everybody should see if it's a possibility to, like, harm them also. Um, yeah, and then I just feel like I would want to help plan all of like my personal arrangements, because I feel like I wouldn't want all of that to be put on y'all, like, on the last minute, and for everything, like, whenever it comes to the end of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then and also thing oh my god, another thing I had to plan for was funding. So I feel like with the money I have right now put aside for college, that's what I would use for, like, taking the trips. Um, but, like, whenever it comes to, I mean, I don't have a life insurance policy. I don't, so, like, I don't know where, like, how we'd get the funding for, like, my funeral arrangements or, like, hospital. And that's another thing. I don't want to be put in hospice. If this
Okay.
were to happen, like, really soon, or, like, before I get really old and brittle, I don't want to be put in hospice, because I don't want somebody who y'all are relying so much on to help me to take advantage of, like, y'all being through this with y'all's daughter, and
Mm-hmm.
try to, like, do too much, whenever in reality, like, I'm still gonna die. Like, I'm just gonna die.
Right.
Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Comments, concerns, additions?
You do have a life insurance policy. I have a
Oh,
policy for all three of
I
you
didn't
through
know
my
that.
work. I mean, it's not enough to cover the full price of a funeral, but it's something. Um, so there's that. But again, that I think, well, I mean, if this were hypothetically going to be happening soon, it would still cover you because I think it covers you as long as you're in school or under the age of 25, I think. So, I guess the only thing that I would, it, being that it's all hypothetical, like it would just have to be one of those play it by ear type of situations. Like, even if you were told you'd have 3 months where you're still fully capable, like, is that set in stone type of situation? Um, like the overseas trips, I think are, if those are things that you really, really want to do, I think those would need to be things that would be put at the top of your list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it may not be prolonged trips. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
being that this is such a time sensitive situation, I would probably, my input would probably be, 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
maybe three, and then get back to the States to where, you're close by. And yeah, you can probably still go to where Priscilla is and spend some time with her and maybe do another trip with some of your other friends. But then that way you're closer to home should things progress.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because doctors can say one thing, but you really don't know how things like that are going to play out. So that would be my only, I guess, input really
Yeah.
in the plan you have. Um, being that we've kind of talked about things like this before, like you said, what I would want.
Mm-hmm.
You feel the same way. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Um, that's how you would feel. if it were to come down to that. But I mean, not to say that it would be easy to do, but
Hmm. I just, and it's something that we've talked about in class. I verbally said that like if it's something that would happen right now, I have full confidence in that, like you and dad, knowing that my wants are so similar to y'all would pretty much do what y'all would want me to do for y'all. Um,
right,
like if all this were happening before I like had a serious significant other, like a serious spouse or something like that,
right,
which where I'm pulling all of this in like a very near future aspect since I don't know what like my life in the far future is looking like. So yeah. And then I just also like I also thought about the idea that holidays would be very like bittersweet because if it is happening right now, like 6 months from now, I would be going through all of the birthdays, like all of um like the holiday season. I'd be turning 21. Like it's
yeah,
so that was something else that like I put in my essay. Like it would just be a very bittersweet moment of so many events happening between now and 6 months from now.
right. Yeah, and I think the time that you have like the ability to go places, do things, and be more of yourself would be used spending that time with, you know, people that you love, your
Yeah.
close friends and your close family, and then beyond that, it would just be us, or maybe your grandparents, or
Hmm.
that would be nearby, spending all that time with you and up until.
I also said I'd want to spend a lot of time at the lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just peaceful.
yeah,
Peaceful and a lot of good like memories there. So, and it's
right.
close. It's close to home.
Oh, mhm.
But
Okay.
do you have any more input?
I don't know. I mean, like, it's easier when you're asking me questions.
I know.
Um, nothing in your plans or should something like this happen is so off the wall, or it's, I don't think it's anything that I wouldn't expect from you.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Other than Greece, like I never knew you wanted to go to Greece, but I would expect that you would want to go somewhere overseas,
Yeah.
as like a bucket list type uh, item, but specifically Greece, that would never cross my mind.
It's the architecture, man. So beautiful. It's like a
Yeah.
beautiful place. Okay.
Yep.
Let me end this.